What is going on, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. What up, Tax? I like that. Give me a K. Give me a R. No. I bet you can't figure out how to put that dash in there, though. We here, man. Backdooring from last night. Hitting y'all with an open topic. I'm trying to get it to where I can balance off a little more open topics to give y'all opportunities to ask me more what y'all want to ask me. Talk about more things that y'all want to talk about, and mixed in with me doing my topics that I want to talk about. So we'll do an open topic today, and surprise, surprise, y'all didn't expect to see me, but here I am. Love you too, Pee Wee, my brother. It's a good-hearted man, man. It's a good-hearted man. We here. And this is open topic. So look, as y'all start slowly creeping in, I want y'all to hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button. I know you forget sometimes, so I just got to keep it on your mind. Just got to keep it on your mind. I see y'all, the family, coming into the party, man. Coming into the reunion. Coming into the family reunion, man. But click that thumbs up as you walk in the door. Clicking the thumbs up when you walk in the door is the same thing as wiping your feet before you step on the floor. That's the best I could come up with. I see all the family coming in, man. All the familiar names. Lucas is up in this thing. Adam, Noon. What up, Noon? Duke up in this thing. Deep Elevation, Manica, Ralph, Miss Lady Sample, Zawaji, Muhammad, Bailey, Tex T, SPC2G. What up, Tex T? My brother. Roderick up in this thing. DC Static, Spiky. Man, we all up in here, man. Well, y'all click the like button, man. Click the like button. We can get it going, man. This is an open topic, so I'm more interested in what y'all got on y'all mind, even though it's a lot going on in this world that we need to cover and discuss some of these things that's happening, because we can't put ourselves in a bubble and be still running around here acting like everything is just like we living in the land of Mary Poppins. You know, it's a lot going on, so we have to address these things and speak on how we can get better and make others around us better as well. T, was you on I haven't seen you on the project, on the 2G project. You've been around, have you been getting down on the 2G project? We're gonna get right into it though. Have you ever heard of iron fluorine? No, what is iron fluorine? Trey Chambers says, can you do another Funk Out the Bag album? I might have another one. Let me explain that. What I mean, Trey. The Funk Out the Bag project was it started off as a collaboration with my brother, Ali, brother Abdul Mack. And he provided the old school funk tracks, and he had all these beats, and he didn't have nobody to rap on. We were like, man, I need somebody to rap on these beats. And we linked up, and I did like a couple of songs. So the couple of songs that I did, he liked them. So he's like, man, you know, can we just keep working, do some more work? So we just kept working. We kept on making songs. So truth be told, if I'm not mistaken, Trey, I think we did about 20 something songs. We got over 20 songs, but the Funk in the Bag album that's out, those were just how many songs on that album? I don't know how many, but however many songs on that album, 10, 12, whatever, those were just the ones he selected out of the 20 something that we already had done. So I know he probably still has 10, 11 tracks left over that he haven't even put out. So there's still some stuff. Duke Togo, how do you feel about Biden and Trump? The same way I feel about Lucifer and Satan. Same thing. Same way I feel about filthy and nasty. Same thing I feel about gross and disgusting. Same thing. Exact same people that just do their devil stuff in different ways. That's all. Different devils, same type of stuff. They just do it in different ways. Same mindset, exact same mindset. I will be in McAllen, Texas, May the 5th. I will be there, man. I will be there. Y'all need to be there. If you're close to McAllen, Texas, you need to be in the building on that day, May the 5th. I will do a video posting the information. I will be in Denver, Colorado, and Colorado Springs on the 21st and 22nd. I will post that information. I'm gonna do a whole thing with with the layout that we got coming up. So all my people in Colorado, every time we leave Colorado, it never fails. As soon as we get back, somebody says, "When y'all coming to Denver?" And we just left. So I'll make sure that we push that. So Waji says, I want to start a family reunion in the year 2024. Yeah, man. Let's do it. Dark Side 72 up in this thing. Jared Bentley. Not sure if you remember me or not. You did a show at Fitzgerald's years ago. You finished with Perfect World. I had an all-white hoodie on. Sniper introduced me. No, I don't remember, Jared, but it's all love. Glad you was there. Number love, man. We got a lot of more stuff coming up. You need to come check us out, Jared. Hey, man, I want to do a contact list, so that way I can keep y'all in the loop of what's going on in shows and projects and events and stuff that we got going on. If y'all are down to be on my contact list, you don't have to say yes or no. What I'll do is I will put my email address right here, right now. And if you would like to be added to the contact list for shows, events, projects, so y'all can be notified, then just send me an email and just say, hey, I want to be part of the contact. Add me to the list or whatever. I just put my email right there. What's up, Deoxy? Miss Lady Sample said, I have a question from when I watched the Savior's Day message. Not trying to be rude, just trying to understand. Do you think the Honorable Minister, you referring to Minister Farrakhan, is the voice of God when he speaks? Absolutely. I don't take that as trying to be rude. That's a good, honest question. I absolutely know that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the voice of God in our presence right now. We live in a world where people are confused and wondering who is the representative, a true representative of God in this day and time, when God has always had representatives among the people. You know, some refer to them as prophets, messengers, warners. God always has people in our midst to guide, warn, speak to us, prophesy, and he speaks through those people and he works through those people. Um, in my humble opinion, none fit that description better than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, not one, because he's a man who's always stood on what he teaches, and he's been a great example, and he's been a great teacher and a great reformer of people. So, and on top of that, everything that he says that's going to happen happens. And on top of that, the fruit that comes forth from him is always good fruit. He's not producing anything evil or negative. So that is one of the true signs of knowing if you listen to a man who God is working through and speaking through. Like they say, you could tell a tree by the fruit that it bears. You tell a man by his works. And I don't have any disrespect for anybody else, but I don't see anybody else walking among us whose works match the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Let me see. Drew Green, y'all in Houston? Y'all live in Houston, Drew? You say you and your wife trying to catch me in the H? Okay, I got you, Drew. Y'all, it's just email me. Email me and say, man, I want to be on the contact list. Where about up north are you, Mr. Lady Sample? Up north, where about? Where about? Like we say down south, where about? Where about? Where about you at? Mr. Fairfax says, I feel like you should do an album about all the different holidays in the year. I've touched on that in certain songs. I thought about doing one song where I cover all of them. I might still do that, just in one song where I talk about Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter and Halloween and all the different ones. So I may still do that. I've been having that sitting in my head for about 8 years now. So yeah, that may you may see that. Y'all hit the like button if you haven't already. This is open topic tonight. This is open topic tonight. So well, today I'm talking about tonight. It may be night if you're in Europe. If you're in another part of the world, you're in Africa, it's probably nighttime. You're in Australia, it's nighttime. But over here in the good old States of America, it's daytime all across the nation for now. Just going through y'all comments, man. The work of God is to believe in the one he sent. And you can't believe in the one he sent. You can't believe in him until you are able to recognize that it's him. Isaac Chavez, what up, K-Rino? What's your opinion about the people that go against God's natural ways? It's unnatural to go against God's natural ways. But the thing about it is we may think about that on levels like scientists, like people in the medical profession, people who like to tamper with nature on those levels. But the reality is that all of us go against God's natural ways. We all have things that we do that are against God's natural way. We even think against God's natural ways. There's some time in our normal thinking, even if we don't act on certain thoughts. When you think in an unrighteous manner, you are going against God's natural way. So I know you may be thinking about just those levels where the elitists and the rulers of the world operate on, but it applies all the way down the scale, even to you and I. So we all got a job to do. We all got work to do to improve, but it's something we got to fix. That's a good question. Ismail, you are a voice of God yourself. Don't forget. Well, you know, I'm gonna tell you like this. Wherever God sends it to initially, then whoever he sends it to, they speak it into others, and others speak it into others, and others speak it into others. So my goal is to try my best humbly to be one of those others that can speak it into others. But, you know, at the same time, to never take credit for the word like it's me, but to always give God the credit. If anything good that comes out of anybody's mouth, the credit should be given to the creator himself. Sometimes we get knowledge and we get big headed, we get conceited and arrogant, and we think that we so wise. Like, you didn't know none of this. Somebody taught it to you. And I've done videos on there where we talk about people who they get a little knowledge and then they become insufferable because now they spend all their time telling me and you how dumb and ignorant and blind and foolish and stupid we are. And you just got you got a little knowledge, but you don't have enough knowledge, because if you really had the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding, you would know that when you get the knowledge, your job is not to um, demean the people. Your job is to help them get to where you at, knowledge wise. And look at y'all, man. Y'all just so ignorant. Y'all just stupid. Y'all still out here, man. Come on, man. Don't get arrogant in your knowledge. Shay said, stayed up last night late watching people do reaction videos to your music, and it's good to see their first reaction to your music. Everyone is true. Hey man, God is great. I appreciate the reactors and those who do those reaction videos to my music. You know, there's so many artists out there that they can do it to, and there's a lot of people that have done reaction videos to my stuff. So I'm thankful, man. It just means that, you know, I'm working. The work is paying off to some degree. That people want to listen, and then to have people who may have never heard of me get exposed to some of my songs and they like them. You know, I'm honored, man. I'm humbled by that. I appreciate it. So yeah, man. I don't watch him a lot, Shay. I watch him sometimes. You know, it's cool sometimes. Sometimes I'll be feeling weird, like, you know. But I definitely I appreciate it a lot. Hit that like button, man, if y'all haven't already. Roger says, if you had to leave America, what country would you like to move to? Hmm. I haven't been everywhere, so it's hard to. You can only speculate and only guess a place that you might feel like you'd like to live. You know, I've always wanted to go to Africa just to visit, and that's something that in my heart I got to make happen at some point. So at some part of Africa, I got to go. But living somewhere else, that's a tough one to answer because that would mean that I would have to have had experience staying somewhere already, or even visiting somewhere where I could look at everything and say, you know what, they got everything I need over here. I could see myself living here, but I haven't been able to lock in on that. But that's a good question. Jared says, if it wasn't for you is one of my favorite songs of yours. Got me through tough times, brought tears to my eyes. I always wondered, just out of curiosity though, Islam or Christ? Both. You can't accept Islam without accepting Christ. And if you really understand, vice versa, because the Christ is Islam. Islam means submission to do the will of God. That's what Islam means. It also means peace. But Islam is submission to God's will. And Christ was the greatest example of submission to God's will. So they one and the same. Men have come along and created the division to create war or create a line between what we know as Muslims, what we know as Christians, and divided people through their versions and their spin on those ideologies and made us to focus on the differences rather than the similarities, which the similarities in basic foundational principle are more solid than the differences. A lot of the differences are centered around um, rituals and things that maybe a Muslim may not. Hey, I don't subscribe to doing that. I'm not subscribed to, and even Christians may look at things that the Muslims do and say, I don't subscribe to that. But the foundational principles are pretty much the same. If we, understand. Hold on, I got jammed up. Open topic, y'all. Hit that like button, man. Catch them likes up. We here on a Saturday. How should we prepare for the NWO? You gotta be rooted in God, because God has a NWO that he's ushering in as well. So you have to now look at your paper and check off which box that you want to check off. See, the New World Order that is being structured and being attempted to be implemented by this world, it ain't gonna last as long as the letters NWO themselves. This world is already on the way out. God is bringing in a new world and a new world order, but it's going to be under his rules. It's going to be under his way. So there's no thing to be fearing about anything they trying to implement. We read about all of the technological things that they're gonna put chips in everybody. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. They're gonna enforce this. They're gonna implement martial law on this and this and that and that. Ain't nothing, man. Stay rooted in God to the best of your ability, and you won't be thinking about or worried about. Not saying you worried, but for some that are, some people are worried. You won't be worried about something that's on the way out. They're trying to hold on and grasp on to the last remnants, the last strands of hope to keep their world in existence. And it's just not going to happen. They've done too much evil to the righteous that their time is up. Their time been up. They living on borrowed time right now. They living on grace right now. Mr. Right On says Christ wasn't a Muslim though. Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Right On. Since I'm sure you say that pretty definitively. If Christ wasn't a Muslim, again, I told you that Islam means submission to the will of God. A Muslim, according to definition, is one who submits their will to do the will of God, right? So in that regard, just on that level, that will make Christ a Muslim, just under that definition. Just like if we were to say, okay, well, a Christian is one who is crystallized into oneness with God. It's the same thing. So I can say that a good practicing Muslim could be called a Christian if he's crystallizing himself into to oneness with God. Now, on a different level, if you read the scriptures, if you start with knowing the region that Jesus lived in, that the Christ lived in, that where he walked, where he was raised up, what language did he speak? Did he speak English? According to what Donald Elijah Muhammad teaches, he spoke Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic. So if he's speaking Arabic and he was to greet you, he would say, Salam alaikum. Well, that sounds like the greeting of the Muslims. Arabic is the language of the Muslims, one of the original languages, even if he was Aramaic. So to say he wasn't a Muslim, I don't believe that's an accurate statement, just because the world has constructed a Bible that basically lends to the thought process that he had to be a Christian. Not saying he was a Christian, but if you are implying that, then I'd have to ask you some more questions. Because I can promise you that Jesus never heard the term Christian ever mentioned in his lifetime. Never heard that word before. That word came years after Jesus was gone. Drew Green says, need that wizard shirt. I'm working on it, man. We trying to get it together, man. Me and the homie Christian Ibarra. But we working on it. We trying to see what it can do. The people who can do it, they trying to charge an amount to make them that's so high that I would have to charge y'all a lot. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to charge y'all a high price for a t-shirt. Miss Lady Sample, K, are your parents the same faith as you? No, my parents are Christians. But again, they have, and we have the understanding of knowing that there's one God that we worship. And any practitioner of any faith knows that there's one God that's called by many names. Called by many names. So you may call him Yahweh. You may call him Jehovah. I may call him Allah. But he's the same. So the study of all, I won't say all, but the study of the predominant faiths, enough study of those predominant faiths will give you the understanding, again, like I said earlier, that there's more common ground than uncommon ground. So we focus and work with each other based on the common ground. And that brings those communities together. That brings those ideologies together if we understand, if we don't get tricked into the spiritual division and the spiritual, like the minister say, the spiritual gang banging. You claiming your set over there, I'm claiming my set over here. Diogenes was rich in poverty. That's pretty deep. He was rich in poverty. Even in poverty, he was rich. Legend goes, Alexander the Great. He was rich in poverty because all riches are not material. Some people have mental riches, spiritual riches, and they're more wealthy than people who have the physical riches, because sometimes those physical riches don't even bring you the happiness you think you're supposed to have. Legend goes, Alexander the Great stood in front of him when he was sitting relaxing and offered him anything he wanted, and he asked him to stop blocking the sun. Simple man. Metaphysics. You just hit it on the head, bro. Just hit it on the head. You say Jesus never heard of Muhammad. Jesus lived before Muhammad. Jesus lived and died before the prophet Muhammad. But the principles that both of them live by totally put them in alignment with one another. And we've been taught to make no distinction between the prophets. So that's one of the things that we see happen a lot, is that the division comes in because people try to, again, they like to gang bang with their prophets, with whoever they ride with, whoever's the face of their franchise. So the first thing that certain Christians may do or will do, they'll instantly try to pit Jesus against Muhammad. Some people will try to pit Muhammad against Jesus. Some people, that's a sign of not having the proper understanding. Because yeah, Jesus lived before Muhammad. He lived and died long before the birth of Prophet Muhammad. But that doesn't mean that their mindsets wouldn't be lined up if they lived in the same time. Because what they had in common was a submission to the same God. So if Jesus was chosen as a prophet, and I know it'll be certain conversations that may go in opposition to that, but if Jesus was chosen by God for whatever you say he was chosen for, and if Prophet Muhammad, just by the title he carries, Prophet Muhammad, he didn't call himself a prophet. He was made a prophet by Allah, by God. So that means that the same God chose both men. So if the same God chose both men, and the God is wiser than all of us, why do we try to divide both men if both of them was God's choice? Open topic tonight, y'all. Mark Sweeney said Jesus Christ wasn't religious. He always preached the kingdom. Repent because the kingdom of heaven has arrived on earth. I see you, Mark. Jesus came to free people from the evil rulers. They ain't going to tell you that these archons created this planet. Text T, K, do you think people are barking up the wrong tree praying to Jesus just off the premise he was man and not omnipotent? I also base this off the first commandment. Well, yeah, I would say we've been deceived into that, T, because Jesus never told the people to worship him, never told the people to pray to him, never. Jesus always credited his Father. So Jesus was teaching the disciples how to pray. Remember that? He said, pray in this wise. He said, our Father. He didn't say pray in this wise. Jesus. He told them to pray by starting off by saying, our Father. He's talking about somebody else. You can find multiple instances in the Bible where Jesus refers to the one who sent him, never saying that he was the one. He said, the one that sent me, my Father that sent me. So no, Jesus never, it was never for us to pray to Jesus. When Jesus was being crucified, what did he say? According to the scripture. According to the scripture, what did Jesus say? Who did he call out to? He said, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? He was questioning the God like, man, look at me. Where you at? So if he was the Father, he would not have to question why he was in the condition that he wouldn't call it out to himself. He wasn't saying, me, why have I forsaken myself? He was calling out to somebody else. He was calling out to his Father. So we've been fooled into made to believe that we should worship the prophet over the God himself. You're not supposed to do that. There's none higher than the Father, none. Jesus was trying to bring us to the Father. Now I know as people might be tuning in this live and thinking this is some kind of religious, like I'm a preacher. No, we just chopping some game, as we say. But Jesus was calling out to the Father to save him. You don't pray to Jesus. You pray to God. God is the only constant. The was, the is, and the will be. All right. What song did you make? What song did you make? You truly made that you loved that many people didn't understand? I got a few of those, man. That's a good question. I may have to get back to you on that one, but I got a few songs that I honestly listen to that have flown under the radar. Under the radar. And I ain't trying to high cap, but I'll be like, they totally didn't even get this. Only a few, only a handful. One of the songs that come to my mind is the song I did called Hearing Double. I've talked about it before. I talk about it in my book, Behind These Bars. That song flew over a lot of people's head. A lot of people had no clue what was going on in that song. So that's one that comes to mind. I got a few other ones. I got, like I said this before, I got partners that I've been kicking it with for 30, 40 years. They don't even understand some of the stuff I said. It's shot right over their head. So that's the song that comes to mind, but it's a few others. It's a few others. Drew Green says, no one gets to the Father but by him. Gets to the Father but by him. These are two different people. You ever went to have a meeting with somebody important, but the person who you getting ready to meet with, they like in another office? So you come to the certain area, maybe the reception area, and it's somebody else says, oh, you here to see Mr. Williams? Okay, follow me. I'll take you to him. They had to take you to the main person. They was not the main person, but you followed them to Mr. Williams. They were the guide to get you there, but they were not the person that you was looking for. The only way to the Father is through the Son. That's right. That means that to follow his example, if you live the life that the Son is living, it will get you to the Father. But you also got to remember that in that process, you are a son too. You are a daughter too. So you say, well, Jesus is the Son of God. Yeah, but you are too. You're a child of the Most High. So if you are a child of the Most High God, that makes you a son. Ridgemont G says, what do you miss about the old Houston pre-Katrina? Pre-Katrina? Is that like a why did you use pre-Katrina as a timeline? I'm just curious. So Katrina hit was that 2005 when Katrina hit? Katrina hit in 05, correct? So what was happening before 05 that changed after 05 in terms of Houston? And when you say Houston, do you mean just Houston in general or the music scene? So I guess I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm trying to see why the '05, why the Katrina timeline. Novax 89. How do you feel about drag shows in schools? How do you feel about drag shows in schools? And how does the Muslim community combat things like this and porn in libraries, in your opinion? Asking as a concerned Christian. Of course, I'm not in favor of that stuff, man. If you're gonna do that stuff, you do it within your own created community. Don't try to impose that lifestyle on our children. Don't try to impose. I'm not in favor of that. Just being straight up. That ain't cool at all. There are certain natural things. This is what we got to understand. There are certain natural things that a child should not be exposed to at a certain age. And these are natural things. So something unnatural like that definitely shouldn't be something that is being exposed to our children in a place that's supposed to be an institution of learning. So if it's an institution of learning, that ain't what they supposed to. That's not. I can guarantee you, if they did a poll, a parent poll, the average parent would be like, that's not what I sent my child to school to learn. How is that relevant to my child's life moving forward? Well, it's not, only except to continue to find new ways to push an agenda. That's it. Because it wasn't enough to put it on TV. Wasn't enough to put it all on social media. Wasn't enough to put it in every way you can pivot your head and turn. Now, even now, when my son and my daughter's at school, now it has to be pushed in front of them, even in school, before their minds are even developed to even grasp the understanding of all of this. How does the Muslim community combat things? Well, I mean, I would assume that any community, not just a Muslim community, any community that opposes that type of lifestyle and opposes that kind of way and that kind of behavior is going to insulate their children. They're going to have a community that type of lifestyle is not allowed to penetrate. You can't get in. You can't get in. That's not accepted in those communities. So that would be the way that I'm certain that go. You know, you're not allowed to do that. And when you teach children and people, when you teach them at the root, the natural order of things, then that, for the most part, keeps that out. I'm all over the place, man. Y'all hit the like button if you haven't already. The ineffable peculiarity. I always say that last word, man. Peculiarity. What's the most effective criterion in lyricism based on your opinion? The most effective. I wouldn't say that it's just one because there's so many components. Because most people will say different things. I would say the main foundation would be that whatever you saying, make it make sense. It has to make sense when people come behind your work and sift through it to break it down. So the substance, I guess, would be the way to answer your question, would be the most effective criterion would be the substance of it. The value of it to the person who's listening. And that person who's listening having the ability to, like I say, to deconstruct your words and take every element of it and say, wow, this makes perfect or almost perfect sense. He put this together or she put this together beautifully. Do you have my book? I got a whole book on lyricism. It's called Behind These Bars. I talk about all that. This will teach you everything you need to know. You got to get this book. You ask me how to get it, I will tell you how to get it. But the skills and all that, just the ability to put words together, now, that's of course that's a part of it. But I've heard a lot of people that know how to do that, and it sounds good on impact. But when you break it down, when you parse it, is that the word? That the right? Am I using that word right? When you parse it, does that mean like to break it down and go through it? It don't hit the same. See, you want to write your lyrics to where they strike people on impact. Cool. You want that. You absolutely want that. But you also want, when people start to go through it and dissect it and break it down and see exactly what you said and how you put it together, you want them, when they do that, you want them to really go, whoa. You want it to hit on a different level when they break it down, because now they've had time to really see how deep you went. Because it can go the other way. People can break your stuff down and it can lose impact. I hear a lot of rappers, man, the flow is beautiful. They riding that beat. They riding the beat. The flow is connecting. All that sounds good. But then when you say, well, hold on, let me read these lyrics. Like, he ain't really saying nothing. He not saying nothing. A lot of cats like that. You ain't saying nothing. You can say it cool, you can say it fast, you can say you're not saying, it's not making any sense. It's not nothing amazing. Let me bust that stuff down and you saying some amazing stuff on top of the style, on top of the flow pattern. I'm gonna be like, ooh, I'm gonna give you one of these. But a lot of rappers be fooling y'all. Because you could do it at a show and somebody get to doing all that, everybody, you couldn't tell me one bar that they said. Miss Lady Sample, I have a Band-Aid on my right hand, on my hand right now. What did you do? Well, y'all, I was playing basketball yesterday. And when I was holding the ball, some guy thought it would be a good idea to come and try to swipe it out of my hand. And I didn't see him. And he came behind me to try to snap the ball out of my hand to steal it. And he missed the ball and almost broke my finger. Needless to say, my day was over. So that's why my hand is like this. But like I said last night, see how great God is? Because it could have been my shooting hand, could have been my rap writing hand. So I'm good. I'm good. Appreciate the love. It's me. What's his face? David up in this thing. We almost at 100 likes early, y'all. Give me 9 more likes. If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, go ahead and do that right now. 704 Joe. Joe says hell no to a drag show. My name is K-Rino and I approve that message. What do you think of Dr. Malachi Z. York? I'm familiar with Dr. York. He spread a lot of knowledge to a lot of people. I got a lot of friends who were the Nuwabians back in the days, and they taught a lot of knowledge from Dr. York. I don't agree with everything he said or he taught, but I know where a lot of he got it from as well too. Open top, who blanket hate all Jewish people. I mean, I don't know. I don't know any people who hate all Jewish people, but I guess to answer your question, I would feel the same way about a person who hates all black people. What does the word begotten mean? How can we be children of God if he said he has one begotten son? Well, in the book of Psalms, it says, ye are all God's children of the Most High God. So begotten has different definitions and different ways that you can describe that word or define that word. Most people think of begotten as, okay, well, I guess through conception. But begotten can also be defined as just being from in a sense, to say, if you are of me from here, then I've begotten you. You are my son. I can beget a spiritual son. Don't always mean physical, but God himself called us his children. So you'd have to take that up with him. All religions were translated from the Torah, and those languages closer to Hebrew would have got the words more from the intention such as Arabic and Aramaic. Hold on, I'm going backwards, y'all. Spectre Cruz in the building. I'm just shouting people out randomly, man, especially names I'm not typically used to seeing, man. I appreciate anybody who is new, anybody who comes every now and then when they can, because I'm usually on late. So I know a lot of times, man, I come on late and y'all be like, man, I ain't finna be on here at no 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm glad to get a daytime blast in here on y'all, man. Did they confiscate guns during the Katrina aftermath, or was that another hurricane? I don't know, Anna Monarch. I don't know. I don't remember. I just know a lot of people were just trying to have refuge somewhere. And if they got the guns, if they took guns, I don't know who they was taking them from. I don't know. Every time I think about Katrina, I just think about a bunch of black people stranded on rooftops because the government didn't want to come help them. Every time I think about Katrina, I think about the fact that the actual storm didn't flood the city. It's when the levees were blown up and the water was released. That's what I think about. Ryan Ruiz, sexuality is an adult thing, man. We can teach our kids on their journey here without any perversions. That's a slippery slope, bro. I mean, this world, man. We live in a world where you can do everything right in terms of your children and telling them this and trying to instill that and prevent them and protect them from this and that. You could do and say everything right, and the pull of this world could still draw them, snatch them in. So I don't claim to be no expert on parenting. I wish y'all the best. They let my daughter pick a different name at school and didn't tell me. Ooh, man, I'd have went crazy. I'd have went crazy. See, they are trying to, in a slick way, take the control of our children away from us. They would tell, I saw this thing a while back where this lady was on TV talking about we shouldn't call babies babies. We should call them babies, They, babies, and give them the right to decide what gender they want to be. That's where all that comes from. You don't get to choose your gender. Nature did that. God did that in the womb. You were formed in the womb. So when the doctor pulls you out, he looks up and he goes, oh, it's a boy. Whoa, it's a girl. They're going to pull out a baby that has male genitalia and then say, here's the baby. What y'all going to do? What should I say? You looking at it, doc. Give me one more like, man. Y'all got me dangling on 99. I got 99 likes. I got 99 problems and a like ain't one. A like don't need to be one. I got one problem and a like is that one. Big Body Bigelow. Where you at, Big Body? What side of the world you on? So Reg must say Houston in general, and I say pre-Katrina because it was a big change in the city overnight. The population grew and keeps growing into this day. Yeah, it was definitely a transition. I remember that. I remember riding by the Astrodome area and seeing all of the people out there that had to come down from New Orleans, man, and just picturing in my mind the culture shock that had to be, because any of y'all who are watching me right now and y'all live in y'all respective cities, most of us have grown up, born and raised in those cities that you're in, and you have everything that you are is in that city. You know, you went to school there, you work there, your family's there, all your friends, your whole life is in that city. Um, your apartment, home, whatever, all your prop, your car. Just imagine that being just boop, just taken from you, and you uprooted to a degree that you can't even live in that city. If somebody's whole life just gets transformed for the worse right now in their own city, at the very worst, they might just become homeless. But even a homeless person can draw, if this sounds right, don't take this the wrong way. Even a homeless person can draw comfort in the fact that they are still in the city that they live in, that they familiar with. At least I'm homeless, but I'm familiar. I know where I'm at. I know my surroundings. Whoop, I know that guy. I went to school with him. He may drop something in my cup. You know how to move. So just imagine being uprooted to where now you just in this whole other city. And it affected the poor Black people so much, so much so on a level, it's like, man, they didn't have nothing, man. Some of the people came with the clothes on their back. So it's a culture shock. We can't imagine that if we never been through it. But that ain't to say that we never will. Some people came down here and they never left. They just built their life. They rebuilt their life right here in Houston. I definitely commend people that like that, man. Some people went back. Once New Orleans got to a point where it was kind of functional, they were like, I'm going back home. I'll figure it out. That's why they say it's no place like home. Home is where the heart is. Will Lyrics ever come back? Lyrics been back. Come on, Joe. Lyrics are back, man. It's a lot of cats that's spitting. It's a lot of cats that's spitting, man. I want y'all, how many of y'all on Instagram? If you're on Instagram, just say yes. If you're on Instagram, just say yes. I want y'all to go on Instagram if you're fans of rappers and rapping and spitting and just raw spitting. Let me see. Yeah, you're on Instagram, man. Go to Rap Economics on Instagram, y'all. Let's go to Instagram and type in Rap Economics. And I'm just speaking from the city of Houston, man. You'll hear all these dope rappers on Rap Economics spitting these bars. Of course, you know, your big brother's on there too. You got to just scroll down and find me. Charles Succubus said, I listened to Creative Expression, and the next day NASA discovered the largest explosion 2 billion light years away, and it heated up the ionosphere on Earth. That's all because you listened to that song. Dark Side says you get assigned a blanket at birth, and they only have 2 colors, blue and pink, and you don't get to choose. Ramadan Kareem, RJ, out there in Delaware. I got you. See, everybody have a page don't. That's true. I understand that, Ren. I'm speaking to all those who. So that means, look, get your YouTube page and subscribe. Yep. I got 99 problems. Shooting bricks ain't one. I'll be shooting bricks now. Cause this the hand, this my guide hand. I can't even hold a rock. I gotta start shooting like Bob Cousy now. I gotta shoot with one hand. It is the last days, Novaks. I gotta say it. Practice non-aggression and self-defense. That's right. Never be the aggressor. But never be somebody that just let people do you any kind of way either. People say, well, never be the aggressor. That don't mean let somebody just beat the hell out of you. I'm going back, y'all. AK, I'm a targeted individual. I'm black. I'm blacklisted and harassed by my community. I'm being smear campaigned. You might need to move to a different community. A lot of times we stay involved, we stay around people who have no love for us. That's dangerous. I would never live in a house if I could help it. Live in a house and nobody in the house likes me. I'll be scared you're gonna do something to my food. Spit my orange juice. Do something to me while I'm asleep. I couldn't live in a house knowing that people ain't feeling me in the house. I got to get out the house. The home is supposed to be the one place where you can always find peace. When you out in this crazy world, wild as the world is, all of the stress and pressure that's going on in the world, you always look forward, or you should look forward to coming home. That's your safe place. That's your place of refuge. That's your place where peace of mind should be instant and automatic the second you hit the door. But if you coming out of a crazy world and walking into a crazy house, you have no balance. You have nothing to balance off the crazy. So now you can never wind down and decompress because you jumping from the skillet to the frying pan. So you have to do everything in your power to make, at the very least, to make your home, make the place you lay your head a peaceful environment. And that's how some of us live. Some of us hell out, some of us is hell outside and hell inside. Like Murder One say, trapped in hell, trapped outside of hell. So for some of us, it's no escape because we live with people that give us hell. We married to people that give us hell. You have children in your house that give you hell. So you can never wind down. You're always on alert. And that's meanwhile, that stress is steady accumulating. My bad. Oops. I just put the website if y'all want to order my book. or any of my music. I got all my music on there too. For all of y'all old school people like me who still rock CDs. But if you don't, go on all the digital platforms. You can get all my stuff from iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, all the places. Do yourself a favor right now. All 68 of y'all that's in here with me right now, go purchase a K-Rino CD. Go purchase a K-Rino album off iTunes. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. What's up, Check NHL? I alternate my mic hand. So the truth is, I do hold the mic with my left hand. Most of the time when I'm doing shows, I hold the mic with my left hand, but I alternate. So you may see it in the right hand, you may see it in the left. If I do a long show, sometimes your arm get tired. So if you see me on a picture, you might see the mic in my right hand, you might see it in my left hand. But I lean towards holding it in my left hand for some reason. I don't know why. I guess because I do hand gestures with my right hand when I'm rapping. So a lot of time I can't even make a fist right now. Open topic, man. Tell me what's on y'all mind. What you got on your mind? What's on your mind? What's on your mind? What's on your mind? Hip hop is all about 808. Would you hop on those beats to influence people? I mean, I've been rapping on 808s. The 808 is like the foundational, the signature drum sound in hip hop for the long as I can remember. You know, I remember when I first heard the 808 kit. Run DMC had a song called Together Forever. It came out in like 84, 85. And that's the first time I heard that boom, 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 boom. Sonic had a song called On Fire. On Fire, On Fire. If I ain't mistaken, that was all 808. Remember Sir Mix-a-Lot? Can you say that 808 kick drum make you wanna get some? 808 been around. Yep. The comic book. How to order the comic book. Universal Mother. Let me show y'all, man. I got to hold it with one hand. I can't hold it with two hands, y'all. I'm injured. This is the comic book. If you're in Houston, man, we're going to be at the Houston Comic-Con May the 26th through the 28th. I'm gonna make a whole video with everything we got going on. May 26th. If y'all want to order the comic book though, I'll type it in. See, I'm a soldier, man. Even with an injury, I still soldier through. I'm gonna thug it out. Codeine. Sam Bryant, what's going on, man, in the UK? Actions are required in order to manifest the things we say we want. That's right. For ourselves and for humanity as a whole. Yeah, we can't just say you want something and think it's just gonna happen because you say it. That's a lot of problem that a lot of people have. They want to just, everybody's into manifestation now. I'm manifesting it. I'm going to speak it into existence. I'm going to speak it into the universe. Yeah, you can do all that. You better work it into existence too. Got to put some work in, bro. Jared Bentley, I appreciate the love and the donation, man. Thank you so much. Sam Bryant, Black Thought or Jay-Z? Black Thought. What's Zero been up to? Do you still communicate with him? Zero's been great, man. I've been seeing him online, but I haven't spoken to Zero in a while. We haven't talked in a while. I think probably before the pandemic. But I see him. He's probably more active now than he don't stop. He never stops. So he's definitely still active, and he's growing, man. Look, this is what y'all do, man. Like I said, let me show some love to my brother Zero real quick. In the last little bit year or so, Zero performed at the Houston Rodeo in front of 70,000 people. Zero was just recently on the 85 South Show podcast, one of the biggest podcasts out. So, man, he working, man. Just did a new song. Him and Lil Flip got a new video they did. I think it's Flip's song. Zero working, man. Come on, man. Y'all know Ro ain't gonna stop working, man. If Ro stop working, I was gonna say something, but it's not appropriate. I'm just gonna say my partner is a monster. He don't stop. But I was finna make a bad joke. Something unrelated, but it rhymed. Did you get the books I bought for you? The Trivium, Quadrivium, and Scientia. You bought those books for me? Where they at? After Kai, what's going on? Hit that like button, man. How many of y'all this y'all first time being live with me? I'm just curious to know how many new people we got. If you're new, yeah, that's it, the Miss Parker. Yeah, if y'all new, drop something. A peace sign or what up? Novak's fifth stream, yeah, you still new. But this is what I want all of y'all to do. If you haven't done it already, I need y'all to go subscribe to my podcast. It's on the other channel, the Underground Dialogue Podcast. I need y'all to go subscribe to that and check out the content. We just dropped a new episode last night. We have an education crisis, which is going on all over, but the state of Texas, the Texas Education Association took over the local school district here in our city, and a lot of people are split behind that. So we had one of our strongest education advocates on my podcast, and he talked about why he supported the takeover, and when a lot of people don't support the takeover. So it's an interesting conversation. So y'all should go to the Underground Dialogue podcast when you get a chance. Subscribe to the channel and watch the new episode along with the back episodes, man. We done did rap drafts. We got interviews with Scarface. We got interviews with ESG, OG Jaime. You know, we got interviews, man, with some legendary people already. We ain't only been doing the show maybe like 3 months. So y'all make sure to go check out the content. Shout out to my homie Keisto. Yeah, I appreciate you, Novax. Let me go back in the time real quick. Phantom Face said, open topic 52, just like me. Yeah, man. 52. I bet y'all won't drop y'all ages. I started off. Be grateful, man. Be grateful. Be proud of your age. Especially y'all women. Don't ever ask a woman her age. Y'all be married and won't tell your husband how old you are. Oh, y'all dropping them like hotcakes. Okay, my bad. My bad. Appreciate that, it's Wobbles. Appreciate the sub. My bad, y'all dropping it. So far, I'm still the oldest cat in the room. Wait a minute, hold on. I was. RJ, you 65? You ain't 65. Trust me, you ain't 80 on the inside, Lady Sample. You think you feel 80. And how you said you were? Let me see. 35? No, you good. Trust me, you straight. Holla at me in 10 years, 20 years. Already appreciate that deep elevation. We got some maturity in the room. The youngest age, Ted, the Unabomber, is 27. Hope this ain't the real Ted Kaczynski. So far, 27 is the youngest. I don't believe RJ's 65. Could be. So 65. So far, 27 is the youngest. Hold on, wait a minute. 26. No Sanchez just broke the record. 26. Brother D Nail, 61 this March. Salute. All right. It's a blessing. 61. 6 plus 1 equals 7, big bro. Rand says older than the sun, moon, and stars. Hold on, Ishmael 24. Spiky 21, man. It's getting younger and younger, man. So we got from 21 all the way up to allegedly 65. See, that's that diversity, man, and we all unified in this one space at the same time together, man. It's time speeding up. Time does seem to be accelerating, man, because when you think about it like this. We already are in April of 2023. We are already over 1/4 of the year already. And it seemed like it went by like that. Many of us can think back to when the pandemic first popped off, like 2020. That was 3.5 years ago almost. But we remember all of the events and the details of it like it was yesterday. So time is moving fast. Time is moving fast. And Monarch, you remember when I said that? When I was in Toronto, I took my 52 and I said, y'all switch it around to 25. Some guys say you've been bumping me since 15. Yeah. A man should never lie about his age. Stand on it. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. A Frock 79 up in this thing. Good luck to you, Miss Lady Sample. Going to see your son tomorrow. One day we're going to do a topic about time. I want to bring somebody on, though, because people got all these different views about time. There's no such thing as the concept of time. It doesn't exist. Save soul soliloquy. The three levels of my existence will clash when my present meets my future and my past. Did you see where Prince said he stopped counting his age? Well, Prince was a Jehovah's Witness, and Jehovah's Witnesses they don't celebrate or acknowledge birthdays like a lot of people may do. So I'm assuming that that's what he meant when he said he stopped counting his age, because technically, if you got a birth certificate that documents the year and date that you were born, then you would not be able to not calculate your age. But when you talk about just acknowledging those years, or doing that year by year count that we all do, I think that him being a Jehovah's Witness may have had something to do with that. But that's just my guess. Yeah. How do you feel about the central bank digital currency? Do you feel like it's the mark of the beast? I mean, no, I mean the mark of the beast represents more of a mindset, where if the having the mark of the beast on your forehead and in your hands, just meaning that those thoughts carry over into those works, the workings of your hands, and they come from that beast, that Satan, that devil that has influenced us and placed that mark on our minds that makes us act other than ourselves. So, they're going to come out with different types of technologies and the digital currencies and different things to try to stay in existence. But at the end of the day, man, it's about what we do. Already. What do you think of SPC, South Park Coalition? No, I'm just playing, Brother Marcus. Secured party creditor process. I'm not really familiar with that. What is that? Give me some game. Teach your brother. Secured party creditor process. I've heard of that. I got to get my financial literacy game up. Yeah. I do have diverse fans, Joe. Fans from all races, walks of life, all different parts of the world. You see that a lot at a lot of my shows, especially in Houston. You see a lot of different faces and different types of people at my show. It's a melting pot, which it speaks to the greatness of music. Music is a galvanizing force. It brings people together from different, like I say, walks of life. People who would have not otherwise even met each other, much less been in the same room. They can connect through certain songs. Like I can relate to that, just like you can relate to that. But this guy's from the suburbs, and this guy is from the hoodest of the hood. That's the beauty, man. That's how music brings us together. Public versus private, privileges and benefits versus operating as a free living soul. I'm gonna have to check it out. Have you ever thought about doing a song like I Miss, but make it a part two, where it's all of your childhood dreams as well as the future dreams? Never thought of that, but you never know. You never know. Freedom of speech in America creates bridges to meet through sound. Freedom of speech is under attack, according to a lot of people. The separation of the haves and have-nots. And Peaceful Penguin, I was just reading your comment and you took it away. I was like, hmm. Do you eat only once a day? I heard you say it in a song. I tried to, 1993. I'm not a master of it, but I try to eat one meal a day. For the most part, I eat one meal a day. But to keep it 10 billion% with you, most likely at night, I'll have a snack, some kind of sweets. But I'm not the guy that's going to wake up and eat breakfast, then eat lunch, then eat dinner. So that's just another trick that's been taught to us by the so-called medical professionals of this world. And all it does is make you sicker to eat that much. Just steady pouring more food into your body and bad foods on top of that. So that concept comes from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad in a book called How to Eat to Live. And that's the basis of to eat one meal a day. And then really not to stop there. Master that and then go to one meal every 2 days. And master that to go to one meal every 3 days. While I may not make it to that point, I do try to stick to one a day. Keyword try. Aligning your perception with the truth is the goal. Mm-hmm. Truth is that which has happened or is happening. Yeah, perception, boy, get you in trouble. Because we can all look at, 10 of us can look at the same thing and see it 10 different ways. But it's also possible for more than one thing to be true at the same time. Certain things contain multiple truths. How do you get jacked with only one meal a day? One meal though. First of all, I ain't jacked. Never have been, so I might not be the person to ask about how you get jacked, but the bottom, like I say, the bottom line is, man, people have this perception that if you eat one meal a day, that you're gonna shrivel up and get sick and die. Nah, you can still have energy. You can still get protein in your diet. You can still work out. You still lift weights, and you can still get jacked. I assume. I know a lot of Muslims that are big guys, big, powerful, cockstrong guys, and I'm sure that they practice eating one meal a day. So it doesn't have anything with just continuing to consume food and that being the sole means to you putting on size. Do you still get credit for thumbs up, likes, a pre-recorded podcast? Yeah, I mean, when they it helps the algorithm. In other words, it helps the exposure, like supposedly, it puts your videos in circulation, if there's more engagement. So that's why I'm always emphasizing to hit the like button. So even if if you go watch my podcast right now, uh, big bro, and you click like, then that's one step closer to, that's helping the engagement increase. So you may be scrolling YouTube, watching something else, and on the sidebar where you see all those other videos of other things, mine might show up out of nowhere. Might randomly just be, you see your big brother on there like. So yeah, those thumbs up, those likes, they count. They count. Even though we're a small community, but we trying to build it up. We trying to build it up. Have you ever spoke on or had the topics? Is that breatharianism, liquidarianism, drinking your own urine brought to your attention before? Yeah, I've had friends that did that. I've had friends that did what they call urine therapy, and they would drink their own urine. They would soak their feet in it. They would use it to, according to them, to heal certain ailments within their bodies. I've heard that all the way back to back in the days when old people would, like I say, they put their feet in the pee and all this stuff. So messing with the pee is not for me. Let me just say that. I don't dismiss any potential medicinal properties that urine may have, or any benefits that may come about from people that consume their own urine, but it's not something that I plan on doing at any time, because I feel like whatever you may be using urine therapy to fix within yourself, I'm almost confident that there's an alternative method as well that can be used, And I'm no doctor. I don't even play one on TV, but that's just my take on it. I view urine to be waste, to be something that is expelled from the body. Now, I ain't no expert. Somebody might come along and say, well, no, bro, but even then, it won't be something that I'm going to drink. But I'm not, hey, man, I know people who swear by it. I know people who have claimed that it's healed them, and who am I to say it haven't? What's your opinion on intermittent fasting? For example, eating 8 hours a day, fasting 16 hours. Well, I mean, that's just a fly way, that's a smooth, slick way of trying to do, like I say, what the other Elijah Muhammad had been talking about doing, you know. Or they try to make it to where you eating all these different meals in a row at certain times of the day and small portions, and then you go a long time. It's like, look, the bottom line is you don't even have to do what they call an intermittent fasting. Like I say, if you eat that one meal, you give your body that 24-hour period time to digest that meal, hopefully digest it properly, depending on what you're eating. Because some meals, some foods are not good for us or hard on our digestion anyway. And also to give your body a full 24-hour period to try to remove some of the toxins that exist within the food that we eat. It just makes more sense to do it like that than to keep, I'm going to eat at 4 o'clock, then I'm going to eat at 5, then I'm going to eat this. Just eat one time a day, man. Just get your one good one in. Try to eat the best foods you can eat. Try to think good thoughts while you're eating and before you're eating and after you're eating, because the way we think has a direct effect on our digestion. You know, your stomach get upset, you eating, and all of a sudden you get some bad news or some ticks you off, and then it changes your whole body chemistry. So it affects all of that. So you want to be in the right mental space when you're eating. You want to know how to prepare your food right. This is science, man. You don't want the wrong people fixing your food and cooking your food. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's so much that go into it. You don't have to do all that extra stuff, man, that these new fangled folks come along and tell you this is the new thing to do. And nah, you ain't got to do all that. I mean, if you want to, that's cool. How can someone convince you it's healthy to drink your own urine? I mean, look, like I said, it's not something that I would do, but the way it was explained to me was that, look, there are certain proteins that exist in the urine that can aid in certain ailments and all that. And I'm not doubting that. I don't know. All I'm saying is, if that is the case, I'm of the belief that you can get that from an alternative source other than the PP. That's just me. That's just me. No PP for me. All right. We about to wrap it up, y'all. If you haven't hit the like button, do it right now. But I'm going to get out y'all way, man, in a hot second. I appreciate y'all time. I don't want no PP. You can keep the PP. What's up, Jimmy? You can keep that PP. The PP ain't for me. Stanislav Brzezinski. If you could bring back one of your dead partners and ask him one question, what would it be? I wouldn't do that because, you know, we can hypothetically have those kind of conversations. Like if people say, well, if you could talk to one person living or dead, who would it be? You know, I could entertain that more than saying entertain the prospect of bringing somebody back. You know, because that time, that person had that time, and when God saw fit for that person's time to be over, that's not something for me to. Because like I say, it's just like when people say, if you could have a conversation with one person living or dead, who would it be? You are naming these different people and all that. But the reality is, when you say like your homies, like your partners, I wouldn't have to ask them no questions because, like somebody put AC Chill. I see Sam Brown. You know, that's my brother. I wouldn't have to ask AC no questions because I know him so good. Basically, anything I ask him, I feel like I know what his answer would be. I already know. Because I just know him. So I laugh like, I know what he would say. You know. Welcome to the circus, where no male rapper's shirt fits. Money in the Bank Productions. All right, man. Last but not least, I'm gonna put this on here one more time. Y'all go subscribe to my podcast. Want any physical copies of my music? Go to southparkcoalition.net. If you want the comic book, go to martialartsproductions.space. There's one more thing and something else I'm forgetting. There's one more thing that I forgot to mention. Your mama so dumb she can't pay attention. Now I say your mama so broke. There's one more thing that I forgot to mention. Your mama so broke she can't pay attention. I don't know what's going on, Adam. I don't know why I won't let you do it. B1 Joel, I see ya. Blessings, man. I'll catch y'all later. Peace and love.